Shalom, shalom, Mishpacha of The Way, it's your girl, 916, Shine, Shanti Doc on the Facebook. Want to say what up to y'all real quick. What's going on? What's going down like Bobby Brown in the town? It's another Shabbat, another day of rest, another day to get close and nigh with the Most High Yahweh Elohim in the spirit. All that good stuff, you know what I mean. Uh, wanted to come tonight and talk about something real quick, like um and I'm not going to be too long, but I'm going to take my time with this. And it's because I've been learning biblical Greek because I am a renewed covenant believer. I believe in Yeshua the Messiah, or Jesus the Christ, as some will call. So, yeah, I started learning the text in its original language, plus I'm looking at what's in the original manuscripts as well. You know, what words are there, what words are to be properly translated as which as such. And so I've been sitting on this information for a while and just trying to find the time to bring it out, things of that nature, right? So the title of this is called What May Woman Be Again? What may woman be again? um, so we're going to look at First Timothy chapter 3 and what's known as biblical Greek idioms. There's these things called idioms or euphemisms, right? You see such phrases in sentences and things of that nature, um, whether it be in English, whether it be in biblical Hebrew or biblical Greek. You get these phrases, these string of words that are not to be taken literally when you read them or when you hear them, such as, oh, it's raining cats and dogs. You know, oh, I'm in a pickle. I'm in a jam. Some phrases such as those in our English vernacular are not to be taken literally. If somebody says, hey, it's raining cats and dogs outside, do they mean that there's literally dogs and cats coming out the sky as rain? Or do they mean it's raining quite hard outside? The drops are coming and they're coming down fast and hard, and the rain just seems outrageous when it's coming down, right? So um, things of that nature. So with that being said, I was looking at First Timothy chapter 3. First Timothy chapter 3. And I know sometimes when I bring out things from the New Testament, it kind of ruffles some feathers. However, you take this, if you have ears to hear and eyes to see, you know what I mean? You're going to go back and examine something for yourself, be provoked to seek and study, provoked to ask the Most High to send the Spirit to lead you and guide you into a sound conclusion. So that's all I want to do. I want to get people to go back and study. All right. So I'm going to be bringing up some things. I took some screenshots from this book I've been using. It's called Basics of Biblical Greek by William D. Mounts. So I'm going to be using some screenshots here, and I'm going to be reading a little bit of the screenshot here, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, because sometimes it's hard to see what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the biblical Greek, right? And I know you see behind me is the biblical Hebrew. That's the Nikodot system, or the vowel marking system there. So I was using that to help a few students. But I thought it would be easier to do screenshots instead of just having to rewrite everything on the whiteboard there. So don't mind that. That's just, whatever. But I want to talk about these translations, and sometimes the translations of the text of the Bible do sort of a disservice. All right. Shalom, Vinny. Shalom. Something flying around up in here, man. I don't like bugs. Shalom, Vinny. But all right, so here we go. Um with the translation, sometimes it behooves a person to go back and look at the original manuscripts, see if the words are there, look at the original text, and look at the definition of the original word the text was written in, and look at the proper definition of the time frame that the word was written in. Like, for example, a lot of people use the Thayer's Greek lexicon to get Bible definitions for the New Testament. I actually have the Thayer's. However, I put the Thayer's away and picked up what I call the Liddell Scott's Greek. And that gives you all the Greek words of the New Testament time frame. They give you the proper definition of first century AD, because if the New Testament was written in the first century AD, then I want first century AD definitions. I don't want definitions that came later in the 7th century or 12th century or 16th century AD. I don't want to do that when it comes to the New Testament. I'll show you what I mean. Let me go get it. It's right outside my door. This is pretty much laid back video. All right. That's my doggies. So this is called an intermediate Greek English lexicon, Liddell and Scott. And I think this costs about $40, but I only use this now when it comes to the New Testament Greek, because it gives first century AD definitions, not 6th century AD, 12th century AD, 16th century AD definitions. It doesn't do that. All right, so with that being said, let's talk about First Timothy chapter 3. I brought this up today with the brother, and I said, sometimes learning the original language of the Bible, whether it be biblical Hebrew or whether it be biblical Greek, sometimes people know the proper original word definition. However, sometimes people just want to continue to hold on to their preconceived worldview, opinion, notion, and assumption. And I've just come to know that's just what people do. Um, so even though somebody may know the proper rendering of a text, it doesn't mean that they're going to actually heed what the text say. It doesn't mean they're going to take the correction of what the text says, because sometimes people's opinions or their emotional feelings, they're attached to something, and that's what they want to hold on to. It's near and dear to them, and they just don't care. A lot of people don't want to be corrected. They want to hold on to what they want to hold on to. But this is for people who want some understanding. So I'm going to look at the KJV real quick. This is the KJV. All right, I'm holding it up, the KJV. And I'm going to be reading First Timothy chapter 3, and I'm going to show how sometimes these translations, they just do a disservice, right? And then we're going to look at some things in the Greek that are there, that are not there. All right, so I'm going to see if the biblical Greek can help us answer how to actually go into the text to see what the text actually says. All right. So First Timothy 3. Let's see here. Put this down just a little bit. All right. So it says, "This is a true saying. If a man desire the office of a bishop, he desireth a good work." Verse 2, it says, "A bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, of good behavior, given to hospitality, apt to teach, not given to wine, no striker, not greedy of filthy lucre, but patient, not a brawler, not covetous, one that ruleth well his own house, having his children in subjection with all gravity. And I'm emphasizing these words because we're going to see what's actually in the biblical Greek. Verse 5, it says, "For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of God?" All right. Verse 8. Let's just skip down to verse 8 because I'm making a point here. It says, likewise, must the deacons be grave, not double tongued, not given to much wine, not greedy of filthy lucre, holding the mystery of the faith in a pure conscience. And let these also first be proved, then let them use the office of a deacon, being found blameless. Verse 11, even so must their wives be grave, not slanderers, sober, faithful in all things. Verse 12, and this is what I'll read lastly. Verse 12, it says, let the deacons be the husbands of one wife, ruling their children and their own houses well. All right. We want to look at the 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 phrase husband of one wife. In the translation, it says husband of one wife. Now, this is also uh, seen in seen in Titus chapter 1, verse 6. It says husband of one wife, right? But we're going to go look at some things in the Greek. So let me share my screen. Actually, let's cancel that real quick. Let me turn my volume up. Turn the volume up just a little bit. Okay. All right, so let me share my screen and then let's get this on. All right, so let's switch to this real quick here. All right, so this is 1 Timothy chapter 3, and we're going to look at a couple of verses. And so we're going to see that more than likely the phrase husband of one wife in the biblical Greek, it's pretty much one woman man. One woman man, and we're going to show something. We're going to look at verse 12 here in 1 Timothy chapter 3. But we're going to look at 1 Timothy chapter 3 verses 1 and 2, and then we're going to skip somewhere else. I'm going to show you something. So 1 Timothy chapter 3 verse 1 in the Greek, it says pistos halagas. It says trustworthy but faithful or believing is the word logos. Etis episkopes. So that says if anyone, right? The translation says anyone. So we're going to see something about tis here. Etis episkopes oregetai kalu ergu, a good work, epitome, he is desirous, right? That's what the translation says. To see is desirous. So this word is the third person singular, right? Third person singular. So pretty much, if you have anyone up here in verse 1, it says atis, if anyone, overship aspires, right? You if anyone aspires to be in the position of overseership, right? They desire a good work, right? Um and down here, not down here, but it says verse 2, de un ton episcopan, Therefore, therefore, it is what necessary. Therefore, it's necessary that the overseer be above, correction, right? What is that? Enepile, um, elepelem tan, enai. Um, they got to be above correction, above reproach, above rebuke, right? And then this phrase right here says, meas gonaikas andra, to be of one wife, the husband. That's what it says here. That's what it says, right? It says it's got to be, in the translation, it says, oh, you got to be the husband of one wife. All right? Be the husband of one wife. Let me see something here. I'm getting text all day. All right, let's see. Sorry about that. Okay, so it says Mias Gunaikas Andra, right? It says be the husband of one wife. You keep that in mind, right? I want to show you something real quick about this here. Let's see. Yeah, let's show this here. All right. Let me share another screen and show you something about the tis here. Let's make this bigger. Just a little bigger. Okay. So you see this third column here, where it looks like a T, a little I, and a little S. Let's just make that bigger right there for you to see. It's a movable nu. That looks like a V, but that's called movable nu. Okay? So movable nu, it actually is changed to a sigma, ending sigma, right? When you're talking about nominative singular, when you're talking about a nominative, you're talking about a subject there. Its meaning is the subject, right? Nominative singular. So tis right here though, but it has that little marking. That's called an acute marking, right? And so this word here, tis, with this acute marking, guess what it would be? I have it written down here to be who, what, which, why. It's like a question. But watch this, where it says 10.11 right there. This is the chapter in the book. It says, tis is the interrogative pronoun. Example, who, right? But look at this. I highlighted it in the book. Tis, with no accent, is the indefinite pronoun. Example, anyone, right? Just want to show that real quick. Real quick. So let me say it again. Tis with the acute accent right there is the interrogative, meaning who, what, which, or why. But the tis with no accent is indefinite pronoun, meaning anyone. Okay? All right. Anyone. here. Whoops. Sorry, my computer is like, oh yeah, we need an update. No, you're not updating right now. Tell them you're not updating right now. All right. So that was that. Let's go back here. So let me share my screen again. Let's go back to 1 Timothy chapter 3. All right. Let's go down to the deacons. What's the word for deacons here? Sorry, I got bugs. This I hate bugs. Bugs flying around. You open the door, bug come in. Good grief. Diakonus. Diakonus is the word for deacons. Remember that. So in the Strongs, it would be 1249. G 1249, right? Diakonus, right? Diakonus. Likewise, says diakonus, hosaltos. Hosaltos, shemnus. Like deacons, likewise, it says must be dignified. May not, dialogus, not double tongue. May not, oino, given too much wine, palo, right? Um, prosejantas, prosejantas, not given, right? May not, then it said greedy of honest gain, right? What is that? That is I iskra care days. Iskra care days. I'm reading the actual Greek, all right? So this is what it says about deacons. I'm not going to read much of that, but let's go down to verse 12. This is the kicker. Diakonoi, diakonoi. What is that? That word is 1249. G 1249 again. Diakonoi, diakonoi, right? Estosan, estosan mías, gunaikas Andres. It's that same phrase in it, isn't it? It says of one wife husbands, right? But actually, in the Greek, it would read one woman man. And we're going to look at that in a hot second. So it says, deacons, let be of one wife husbands. Let you be the husband of one wife, right? All right. So with that being said, I want to take us somewhere because I just want to make this quick. Shabbat shalom, sis. Shabbat shalom. Um, that's sister only love right there. Hope you're having a good and lovely Shabbat. So, Mias Gunaikas Andres, right? It says diakonoi. Diakonoi come from what? That word deacon, right? 1249. G 1249. Remember that. It says they gotta be the husband of one wife in the KJV translation, right? That's what we read earlier, right? Verse 12, it says, let the deacons be the husbands of one wife. Look at that word right there. Now let's go to a hot spot real quick. What you laughing at, brother Vinny? what you laughing at? You laughing at I don't know what you was laughing at. I gotta remember to look over here and look at the chat and stuff like that. Let's go to Romans 16. And we're gonna look at one verse. One verse. Right? Romans 16. One verse. This says Synastemi de humin, that is Foeben, ten Adelphen, Hemon, Usan Kai, Diakonon, tes Ecclesias, tes in Kenkreis. Right? So pretty much it's saying and or but. I commend you, human Phoebe. Ten is the right. Adelphan, the sister of us, Humon. You see that Humin and then Humon. Um, being and or also diakonon, called her a servant, right? Now this is a sister. This is Phoebe, who's a sister. So this is a female, right? This is a female they're talking about, and it's saying she's also a what? A diakonon. She's a servant. Look at that word, G1249. G1249. Shabbat shalom, Sister Tammy. How you doing? Oh my gosh, man. I want to give some of y'all the link to come in and talk with me, man. Oh my goodness, man. Let me know. Let me know if y'all want to come in and talk to me. This is beautiful. So, Romans chapter 16, verse 1. It's saying Phoebe is this sister. Sister is a female. It's calling her a diakonon. It's calling her a servant. And that is 1249. G1249, right? G1249. It says an attendant, a waiter, especially a Christian teacher and pastor. Golly, is that what the Strongs is calling her? So, if Phoebe is a sister, she's a female, and is calling her a deacon, why? Why? Who knows what I'm about to ask? Why in First Timothy chapter 3, in verse in verse 12, why does it say deacons must be the husband of one wife? In the KJV translations and some other translations, right? Oh, okay, because Mias Gunaikas Andres means one woman man. It's an idiom. It's a Greek idiom, and it means pretty much be monogamous. And I'll tell you why. Let's stop sharing for a minute. Mias Gunaikas Andres, one woman man. Because if it says deacons here, how can Phoebe, who is a sister, who is a female, be called a deacon? If a deacon got to have a wife. Wait a minute, isn't she already a woman? How can she be a woman and have to get a wife? Oh no, that's not what this is talking about, right? That's not what this is talking about. So pretty much the biblical Greek, it says one woman man. Oh, your granddaughter's there. Oh, too many interruptions. I love you too, Sister Tammy. We shall talk again later. So one woman man. And pretty much this is Timothy being talked to from Shaul, also known as Paul. Uh, Timothy is in Ephesus. Ephesus is a Roman colony, right? And there was this guy named Augustus Caesar who pretty much has a law of the land that makes it permissible for a husband to sleep around or have sex with prostitutes and also married women. Adultery was a legal law of the land that was permissible to husbands. Shaul or Paul is saying, look, I know some of you Israelites who believe in the Messiah now, you're in these Roman colony cities, especially Ephesus, where these things are allowed. However, when you're coming into the Most High's covenant and you're going to be adopted into Israel through the Son Messiah, then guess what? You're going to have to really be monogamous if you're going to be in a certain position of overseership or be in a position to be a deacon or a servant or a minister. You can't have all these sexual liaisons going on. You know what I mean? Just because the law of the land allows it, right? I know other people have determined that this verse says, okay, well, you got to be married. Well, Shaul wasn't married. He was probably a widower, or maybe, um, or possibly uh, divorced or something like that, because there was a known rule that when you were a part of the Sanhedrin, you were to be married, and we know Paul was part of that Sanhedrin at one time. There was like two Sanhedrins, like the Sanhedrin of the people, and then there was the Roman Sanhedrin. You know, you guys go back and study that stuff. But yeah. So I gotta get this bug. If I don't get this bug, it's gonna bug the hell out of me. I'm trying to have a peaceful Shabbat, right? But so one woman man. What is that? I said Mias, Gunaikas, Andres. And sometimes the word Anir or Andres, when there's a group of men and women in the same assembly, then the verbiage or the vernacular would switch to just the masculine form of the word, which is inclusive. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I just wanted to bring that stuff out. Now, I'll say this again: the biblical Greek. I know what I just read in First Timothy chapter 3. And sometimes some people are not honest exactly about what the actual Greek manuscripts say. Sometimes we have to see if things make literal sense. And if they don't make literal sense, then they must be, looked at as maybe idioms or euphemisms, things of that nature. So in the biblical Greek, we have in 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 12, we have Mias, Gunaikas, Andres, one woman man. And if Phoebe is called a deacon, and if Phoebe is a sister and a female, it's not telling Phoebe to go get a wife. Nah. You know what I mean? So, yeah, check these translations. All the translations, every word for word is not off, but you just got to go back and check some things. So I know I do a lot of women's studies and things like that, but I'm just sharing some things that I bring forth and I bring out. I know you got the video, you got the bee up there and the centipede and what do that mean, brother B? Are you talking about the bugs? Yeah, I don't like none of them things right here. You know what I mean? Not in the house. Not in the house. You know what I mean? So yeah, these little things I just bring out every now and again. I know some things may ruffle people's feathers and stuff like that, but this is for those who have eyes to see, ears to hear, those who are seeking genuinely to properly understand. And even though some things are known as this, what I just brought out from scholars and such about the actual biblical Greek language and what it says and what these euphemisms and idioms are, I know some people are going to hold on to their worldview. They're going to say, nah, a woman can't be an overseer. They're going to say, nah, a woman can't be a deacon, a minister, a teacher, and all that stuff, because they're going to hold near and dear to their translations, because their translations, they are, I mean, the translations work for them. The translations, have helped people build up their doctrine and their following. They're comfortable with their translations. It's convenient for them. It works for them because of what they want to teach and how they want to teach. So, with that being said, I love y'all. I love y'all with the love of the Most High. Let me give you some updates of what I got going on. Um, Debate talk for you. If y'all don't know, debate talk for you. Sal Showtime. What up? What up? That's on Blog Talk Radio. The next Wednesday, October the 24th, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's the new segment that I host and my brother B.A. Ben Abraham co-host. It's called The Second Quarter. And that's because the second quarter was pretty much the college where this woman named Holda dwelled, and she was pretty much a scholar. So we go on to school on y'all. We're bringing out a lot of collegiate information, a lot of secular historical information that corroborates the scripture. So next week, next Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we're going to be talking about uh, Paul Paul amongst the imperial cult empire. That's what we're going to be talking about, right? And then November the 9th, also on Debate Talk for You, Blog Talk Radio. November the 9th, I'm going to be on the panel representing the New Testament. The title is called Offenders of the Tanakh on Trial or whatever. And the believers such as myself on the panel, it's going to be Anonymous Hebrew, the captain. It's going to be Brother Bishop Eliyahu. It's going to be Brother Zadok and myself. And we're going to be getting questions asked. We may not ask any questions that night, but we are only allowed to answer questions. So that's November the 9th, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then there's another preliminary for that on November the 1st. So November the 1st, Debate Talk for You. There's going to be a preliminary show up to the trial. You said it's going to be a good one, Sister Vinny. Sis, are you using the ISR? I do use the ISR at times, the Institution for Scripture Research. Sister Tammy. First Timothy in here, it pretty much says the same thing. I'll read it. First Timothy chapter, what is that? 3. First Timothy chapter 3, verse 12 says, "Let attendants be the husbands of only one wife, ruling children in their own house as well." So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's good to go back to that biblical Greek. And sometimes if things don't make sense literally, you 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 would need to search out if something is a euphemism or an idiom. Because we saw that Romans chapter 16, verse 1 again, it says Phoebe is a woman, is a sister, right? It called her a deacon. It called her diakonos, right? So she's already a woman. So if she were to get married, she would be a wife. You know what I mean? So if they tell deacons, "Oh, deacons, you gotta be a husband of one wife," nah. It's not saying that a deacon necessarily has to be a man. It's not saying necessarily that an overseer has to be a man. Oh, one more thing I forgot to share. Pronouns in the Greek. Let me share this real quick. Let's put this up. Let's put up 1 Timothy chapter 3 again. Let's put up verse 1 and 2. Let's see. Let's share my screen. Let's share this one first. All right. It says pistos halagas etis episkapes aregetai kalu ergu epitomei de un ton episkapan anep anepilem ton inai mias gunaikas andra, right? In the KJV, let's see. In verse 3 in the KJV, it says, "This is a true saying. If a man desire the office of a bishop, he desireth a good work." Okay, verse 1 alone, you can see the words here. Let me just show you something real quick. It says, "If anyone It says he is. It says if anyone desires or aspires to be, an overseer, it says he is desirous. It's a good work, right? But there are no masculine pronouns in First Timothy chapter 3 when it talks about, oh, he has to do this and he has to do that in his own house and his children. There's no personal pronoun. All right. Let me show you something here. Let's share this other screen here. I'm gonna show you what personal pronouns look like when they're talking about he, she, or it and stuff like that. There's no personal pronouns in the Greek for First Timothy chapter 3 when it talks about he has to do this and he has to do that and his and all that stuff, right? So his and him, right? Let's share this here. I'm not going to see what you guys are saying in a hot second, but so this word, this nom means, nominative. It means it's the subject of the sentence, and this ACC is accusative. It means it's the object of a sentence, right? This GEN mean it's a possessive, right? And dative means it's to, in, or with. So SG means singular, and then PL means plural. And the endings of words in biblical Greek give you what type of word is going on or who's doing the word and stuff like that, right? So these are pretty much pronouns, personal pronouns, right? So this autos here is going to mean he. This aute is going to mean she. This auta is going to mean it, right? So if we have a possessive here, the genitive here, the genitive singular, if you're looking at a genitive personal pronoun, if something's going to say his, it would be this word autu here. It would be autu. If you're going to say her, possessive her, right, it's going to be this word here, autis. If it's going to be its, then you will see a Greek word here is autu, autu, right? These are personal pronouns that you're going to see, right? So these are possessives, right? The genitive means possessive, right? When you're looking at theirs, oh, it's theirs, right? Well, belongs to them. Things of that nature, right? So you see the endings of the word change. These are called case endings, and the endings of the word change to let you know what type of word is there. If it's possessive, if it's a singular or if it's a plural, if it's the subject of the sentence or if it's an object of the sentence, whether it's something that's talking about a possessive, or when you're talking about I'm going to the store or in the store or we're by the store, that stuff is called dative, right? So this is just my beginnings of biblical Greek learning, right? So look at the words again when you're talking about his and hers and its, he, she, or it. Autos is the main one, right? Now I'm gonna stop sharing this screen and I'm gonna go back to First Timothy chapter 3 for another time to show you here. Just go back and if any of you guys have an interlinear Greek, just go to First Timothy chapter 3 and see what I'm talking about. When you're looking at First Timothy chapter 3 verses 1 to 12, let me know if you see anything that looks like what I just showed you, autos, and you might have to go back over this video again, right? Look at this line here, autos. Do we see any autos here? Autos, I'm looking. Okay, there goes that mias konaikas andra. Again, okay, no autos there. Okay, let's look here, see if any autos is here. Oh no, there's no autos in that line over here, right? No autos there. Okay, let's see if there's any autos here. Let's keep looking. I'm trying to look. Personal pronouns here. Autos, not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet. Oh, we see tis without the acute. That means anyone, right? uko, prastenai, uk, oiden, right? No, we still don't see no autos. Okay, let's go to verse 6. Verse 6. Do we see any autos? No, 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 no. What? No. No. Oh my gosh. We don't see any autos here. We don't see any autos. We don't see no personal pronouns. We don't see no masculine personal pronouns here. What about deacons? What about deacons for verse 8? Do we see autos here? Or do we see autu? Do we see autes? Do we see autu again? You know, his, her, or its? Let's see. Do we see his here? Do we see his? No? Okay, let's go to verse 12. Let's go to verse 12. Let's see. When it says diácono, estos son mías gonaicas Andres, right? Do we see autu here? Do we see autes? Let's see. Do we see autos here? Do we see the masculine personal pronouns here? Dang it. No. No, we don't. That's crazy. Right. We don't see no personal. We don't see no personal pronouns. We don't see no masculine personal pronouns. So, with that being said, uh, yep. So, I don't know. I probably went on too long. I probably made. Oh yeah, this is like 46 minutes in. Okay, well, that's that. So, again, these are the sources I'm using for biblical Greek. This gives first century AD definitions of words. When Paul was writing, or when the writers of the New Testament penned, it was first century AD. I need first century AD definitions, not 6th century AD definitions, not 12th century AD definitions, not 16th century AD definitions. That's why I do not use the Thayers. I use this. And this is what I'm learning biblical Greek from. And this is where the screenshots came from as well. All right. All right. So, y'all got any questions, comments, or concerns before I end this video? You know, in the Shabbat, you know, y'all can go into y'all Shabbat and I can go eat and be merry and drink me some Shabbat wine. You know what I mean? Yes. I'm having a peaceful rest, peaceful Sabbath, you know, growing close to the Most High, trying to gain some understanding. So these are the things I actually do, you know. They do and go through sometimes when I'm bringing in Erev Shabbat. Sometimes I have dinner with the family. Sometimes I just be chilling here. Um, oh yeah. I want to. I have one more book in the car, but these are some of the books I use for Paul, getting historical background on Paul and his letters and stuff like that. Let's try to get that glare off of there. This is Bruce Winter, Roman Wives, Roman Widows, the appearance of new women in Pauline communities. I like to give out information of where I'm getting my resources from, my information from. I ain't trying to hold nothing from nobody. This is called. Let me get the glare off there, man. That's bad. Okay, Paul and Empire. Paul and Empire by Richard Horsley. This is good too. So this is where I get a lot of my information from Paul. There's one more I don't have here. It's probably in the car. It's called After Paul Left Corinth. That one is also by Bruce Winter. And then the last one here, it's called Divine Honors for the Caesars, the First Christian's Response by Bruce Winter. Yeah, I get a lot of my information about secular historical context and backdrop for Paul's letters from those books. So um, watch out for that bug. Yeah, I'm gonna watch out for the bugs. So if y'all don't got no questions, comments, concerns, I want to say I love y'all. Continue to have a good and blessed Shabbat. Shalom, shalom, Mishpacha of The Way. It's your girl 916 Sean T Doc on the Facebook. Remember, Next week, October the 24th, debate talk for you. November the 9th, debate talk for you. I'll be there. All right? All right. Y'all continue to have a good and blessed night. Shalom, shalom. Mishpacha of The Way.